Hello everybody and welcome back to another screencast of Total OS Today. Well, I hope everybody is doing well. For this screencast, I have another edition of what I believe to be the standard of a Linux-based operating system, at least based on me, a dual booter, a Windows/Linux user. This is the Zorin OS 5 32-bit RC release candidate. Now, the final version should be released anytime now, probably towards the end of the month, including the 64-bit versions. Have not tested it. What we see is what we get. I'm going to install this inside a virtual machine and boot it directly to the installer. So, let's get started and see if the excellence continues. For those of you who follow my channel, you know that I would recommend primarily this operating system, Zorin OS, for new Windows users. And if you are new to my channel, thank you for joining. Welcome aboard. You should take a look at Zorin as your Windows replacement, or at least a Windows alternative. Another fine, excellent distribution for Windows users, I would have to say, would be Linux Mint. Okay, let's get started with the install. So if you are new to Linux, let's do this together. Click forward. Okay, for best results, 5.7 gigabyte available drive space, plugged into a power source and connected to the internet. Pardon me. Okay, what we have here is the allocation of drive space. This computer currently has no detected operating systems. I actually have Windows 7 installed as a dual boot with Linux on this one. I have Zorin 4 on my laptop. However, in a virtual machine, in this particular virtual machine, I do have nothing, so this is correct. In this case, I would want to erase disk and install Zorin. If I did have Windows 7 in this virtual machine, it would read and tell me that I had Windows 7, and in that case you would use the install side by side or install alongside option to install Zorin safely alongside Windows 7. Alright, let's click forward. As you can see, I've allocated about 8.6 gigabytes, which is fine. If you are installing this alongside Windows, make sure you would allocate, I would say, at least 20 gigabytes to be safe, maybe more. I would recommend that you have at least 1 gigabyte of RAM, although I believe this will run with a minimum of 512. It has correctly detected my time zone. Keyboard looks good, USA. Click forward. If you haven't already checked out the new Zorin OS website, you should definitely check it out. Okay, who are you? I am a human. Alright, toss today. And I'll just name this machine toss today. Of course, you can put in any name that you like. Password will be my usual 3 digits. Normally you would type in a longer password for security. And since I will not be keeping this inside a virtual machine, login automatically is just fine and dandy. Okay, this is going to be the usual nicely done slideshow. Welcome to Zorin. Benvenido. Very nice. Bienvenue. Hey, differing languages. It is different. That is probably Russian, Chinese. I don't know that one. Someone will probably tell me. Don't know that one. This one I believe is English. Oh, I'm just being silly. Okay. Alright, get free software. The Software Center gives you instant access to thousands of free open source applications. That is true. At the bottom you have the progress bar as usual, moving right along. Seems to be moving right along rather zippy. Zipply? Zippy. Yeah, moving zippy. Quickly. Oh, this has the featured software or available a 3D planetarium for your computer. Stellarium. I don't think I have that. I may have to try that. Movida is a media player. It says here a cutting edge media center. I have downloaded that and I will be testing it for a future review. Customizing Zorin OS. Yes, you can, as you can with any Linux-based operating system, usually. Of course, Zorin OS is the home of the exclusive Zorin OS look changer. The Zorin PC, I believe, should be due out here shortly, in about a month or two, if I'm not mistaken. I hope it does well. I wish the Zorin team much success. And if I could get my hands on a Zorin PC, I would be happy to dissect it and review it. Well, maybe not dissect it, but take a look at it. Hopefully when I become partnership, I will be able to do many hardware reviews, including Apple products, which I've had a few requests on, but just not in the budget. Okay, create documents and presentations. LibreOffice has replaced OpenOffice for the default Linux writer. All right, the progress bar at the bottom, almost finished copying files. Let me know if anybody else out there is currently using Zorin, any version of Zorin or any edition of Zorin. I've had a few tell me that it runs splendid. Okay, email and chat software, empathy and evolution, supported software, Skype. Of course, you know Microsoft has bought Skype. Curious to see where that leads to. And at the bottom you can see it's creating user, configuring the system, starting PC card services, moving along rather nicely, configuring hardware. I think what I will do here is pause this. This seems to be moving along without any glitches or hiccups. So what I will do is pause this, come back when it's finished, and then we'll go dive in right into Zorin OS 5. Don't go nowhere. I'll be back. Okay, as you can see, it's very Windows-ish. Let's right click and see what we have here. Let's take a look at some desktop backgrounds. And it looks like some backgrounds from Zorin OS 4 carried over, especially the blue themes. Okay, or the blue themed backgrounds, that is. We have themes, the Zorin theme, of course, and these are Ubuntu based themes here. Fonts. So I think I'll just keep this as it stands. Let's go from right to left. Okay, the power, of course, the chat accounts, time and date, email, sound. Banshee is now the default excuse me, default media player for Ubuntu, Linux Mint, and Zorin. And I have tested this. This seems to be running okay. Looks like here we have both the Amazon MP3 store and the Ubuntu One music store. Interesting that it has both. Okay, let's get out of that. We have the menu file manager, again very easy to use. Google, of course, installed by default. Let's see, can I get this to start any virtual machine? Maybe not. Alright, let's go to the start menu. Okay, this, if you have looked at my videos before and have seen and tried Zorin, this should look very familiar. Let's see here. Let's go to sound and video. Okay, OpenShot is installed by default. I don't see Kden Live. I haven't tried OpenShot enough to really give you an up or down, but I am more familiar with Kden Live as far as that goes. Let's click back, go to System Tools, and Deja Dupe Backup Tool is new. This is to restore and back up your system. Very nice. I haven't tested that yet. I hope it's as simple as using Windows System Restore. I'll have to take a look at that one day. Okay, let's go back to System Tools. Let's take a look at a couple of exclusive, what I believe to be exclusive Zorin software features. Let's take a look at the Zorin Look Changer. Now, as you see now, this looks a lot like Windows 7. Let's click Linux GNOME, or Genome as I like to call it. Alright, please log in to apply changes. Let's try that and see what happens. I will log out. Yes, log out. Okay. Log back in with my passcode. And let's see if this works. Looks more like the GNOME or GNOME desktop. Okay, the icons have loaded. Well, there you go. This looks more like the previous default Ubuntu desktop, doesn't it? Shall I leave this here or go back to the Zorin? I'll leave it here. I think most of you know by now what the default Zorin desktop looks like, so I'll leave this as it is. Let's go to the, what kind of games do we have? Nothing new here. Accessories, this looks the same. Office, of course, you know LibreOffice is installed by default. And sound and video, I mentioned Banshee. I still think the VLC is the top media player for both Linux-based systems and Windows. System Tools, let's see. We looked at the look changer. Let's look at the Zorin Internet Browser Manager. And I couldn't get Google to load up in the virtual machine. Let's try, you know what? Let's try something I haven't really looked at. Let's try Midori. Let's install that, see if that'll work. Error occurred, didn't work. Okay. Will Google load now? Yeah, I'll choose Google. Make Google default browser. There we go. Once again, keep in mind I'm running this inside a virtual machine and things do not run 100% perfect all the time, but this is good enough for me. Okay, let's keep on going. Wine, of course, this will help you configure and run some Windows programs. Let's go to Ubuntu Tweak is installed by default. Very nice. This will help you customize and tweak your Linux-based operating systems such as Zorin. Very easy to use if you are a Windows user. Go to Places, of course your menu folder icons here. Go to System, Preferences. Now these I'm sure you have seen before. There's lots installed here. Let's see, let's go to the Ubuntu One store. Actually, this isn't really a store. This is a cloud-based service that lets you upload storage up to, yes, right here, 2 gigabytes of, pardon me, of online storage. Seems simple enough. I do not have an account. Join now. I'll leave that as it is. Okay, very nice. Go to Preferences again. Let's see. Let's take a look at the Compass Configuration Settings Manager. Okay, this is to customize your Zorin OS desktop. This should be easy to understand. It's categorized here from general to accessibility, desktop, effects, wobbly windows is nice. If I'm going too fast, I don't mean to. There's just so much that a Linux-based operating system like Zorin offers. It would take me literally an hour or two to go through every single piece of software. Hopefully you'll get the picture of what Zorin OS 5 can do for you. Loading advanced search, okay, 3D windows, animations. Again, this is mainly eye candy. Hopefully something like this you'll have at least in your computer at least 1 gigabyte of RAM and a hefty video card. I recommend at least 128 megabyte video card, although I suspect this can work less. Zorin OS team, if I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me. Okay, let's see what else. We looked at Deja Dupe. Let's take a look at the Synaptic Package Manager. This is where you can go. One spot you can go to download and install software. Okay. Alright, this looks like the same as the previous version. Looks nice and easy to use. I don't think I've missed anything new. Let's see, let's try System Monitor. Okay, as you can see, this is only using 197 megabytes of RAM. I allocated about a gig, so very efficient, very nice. 7% CPU use, okay, very nice. Of course, these are the total or the default menu icons for the system. Let's go back to preferences. Let's take a look at a couple more things, and then I think I will wrap this up. Let's see. Screensaver. What do we have for choices here? Hyper, Taurus, Pictures folder. Don't have anything in there. GL Slideshow. GL School. Floating Ubuntu. Fiber Lamp. The Cosmos. Hey, that planet looks very familiar. That's Planet Zorin. Haha. Okay, this looks nice here. Power management here at the bottom. Now, if I was running this in a laptop, you would have another tab here for the battery, I believe. Yeah, I think so. Graphics, the GIMP, installed by default. There you go there. Okay, looks good. Alright, I'm going to wrap this up here in about a minute. This looks as polished and as stable as always. No glitches except for the Google software wouldn't pop up in the beginning, but again, I am running this inside a virtual box. This is the Software Center, a more of a GUI, GUI version, easier version of installing software versus the Synaptic Package Manager. If you are a Windows user migrating to this, I would use the Software Center to install or delete software versus the Synaptic Package Manager. This would be the list of available software here. Once again, this is my #1 choice for Windows users who are looking to try a Linux-based operating system next to Windows 7. I also can highly recommend Linux Mint. In my opinion, Zorin and Linux Mint are the standards of excellence as far as Linux-based operating systems go from my experience as a dual booter. Alright everyone, that's it for this screencast of Total OS today on Zorin OS 5. This is the release candidate 32-bit. The final version should be out shortly, including 64-bit editions. Check it out on the Zorin OS website. Thank you for watching, and as always, I will catch you sometime in the future. Thank you.